Hello YouTubers. So today what I'd like to show you is one of my new favorite chess openings. It's a very aggressive line of the two knights defense, and it's very similar to the fried liver attack. It's called the lolli attack. And I'm just going along right here, sort of showing you the introduction position here. And now this move by black is the turning point where in the fried liver attack, white will capture, the king will come out, and the queen will come out. But in the lolli attack, we actually just give up another pawn right here, and now we castle. And the whole idea of this attack is, for the cost of a pawn, we get the same threats as the fried liver, but we also get the additional threat of the rook coming to e1. So at this point, black really only has the choice of trying to close off the e-file by a bishop move there, or by bishop to e6, or by trying to kick the knight off with the pawn. I'll show some other variations later on, but those three main variations are the ones that are the best tries for black. So after white castles, let's say black moves bishop right there. We just go ahead and take that, and there comes the queen. Now from here you can see this knight right here on d5 is actually hanging now, and white's won his pawn back. So if black doesn't want to just lose all of his position for no reason, he's going to probably try to defend that knight with the king over here. And at this point we can just throw that rook on the open file, and if the king moves here to keep that defense, it's mate. So that doesn't work. So clearly the king has to stay put. So black will frequently put a knight in the way, and we'll just pile on that pin piece as well. Black will try to defend that piece, and now here comes another idea of the lowly attack, a knight sacrifice on c3. Now the idea of that is it piles on another attacker to the d5 knight and pretty much forces black to capture at this point. And now up comes the rook, check. Bishop captures, rook over. And now what's happened is black is in the same position as he was earlier, where he's going to lose heavy material. But now he has no defenders. So that's what happens if black brings his king out to defend his knight after that bishop move right there. Now, if instead of moving his f8 bishop, if instead of that move he comes bishop to e6, all we're going to do here is pin down the piece, threatening to win back a little bit of material. At which point black really should probably just develop one of his bishops or something. He's really got not a whole lot of options. Oh, excuse me. At this point, actually, what we're threatening is knight capture, and then after, here, I'll show you. So, say black does some goofy move like that. What we're threatening here is knight capture, and if the king captures, the queen our queen can come out, and now the king is in really dire position, because if he comes back here into the corner, we can just hammer on right here. Oh, that's not right. We can just capture his bishop, and the game's going very well for white. And if he comes back on the black squares trying to protect his new weakness of a bishop, we can just hammer on with our bishop, and the same mating pattern you saw earlier applies here. So clearly the white king coming out there is a very big weakness for black. So in order to stop that, instead of a goofy move like a5, black will frequently play his queen here, trying to protect that f7 weakness he has. And it seems promising, but in truth, it really doesn't get black anywhere because we just sacrifice anywhere anyway. And we saw what happens if the king takes, so now the queen takes. And at this point, we can just go ahead and capture the knight because the bishop right here is immobilized. So at this point, white has got more than enough compensation for his moves, and black's bishop is now actually threatening to be taken. So as you can see, every variation of those bishop moves really just leads to an active game for white. But let's say black tries to kick the white knight off of f3. We can just check here, at which point any move like bishop to e7, for example, trying to block that check, they are all going to be pretty weak moves, but we have options here. We can, sorry, this is the variation I absolutely hate playing, but we can probably just throw this queen in here, check maybe. Nah, that doesn't work. I don't know. That variation, let's see. Maybe we don't even go rook there. With that variation, maybe an immediate knight move would be best. No, that's not going to be work. Oh, sorry. This seems to be a very promising move, actually. Oh, no, that's all ridiculous. Okay. At this point, we're going to throw out this knight. Sorry. Got a little off track. Which is another thematic sacrifice. And say black takes this knight here. We'll check on the open file. He can protect. Oh, no. Sorry, if he takes that knight right there, we're going to probably take knight here. After which, if he takes the knight and we come here check, now he's in a very dire position because if he moves his bishop out to block that check, we can pile onto it. And then, you know, a move like that doesn't really get him anywhere because at this point we can just capture, check, he takes, we take, he takes, and now we can bring in another rook, check. And all kinds of bad stuff is happening for black. So as you can see, those three variations all lead to black being in a very bad position if you know how to play it correctly. It's a little bit... Playing it as white isn't that difficult because you know the thematic moves. But if you're black, trying to think of all these possible combinations is almost impossible. So it makes it a very effective opening for white. Now if we take a look at some other moves like bishop down here trying to cover the e1 square that the rook wants to hop into, we'll see that it doesn't work because it just gets kicked back to another square. And if it doesn't go to its best square at e7, we pretty much just lock it out and proceed with the attack. Sorry. The knight sacrifice is really a crucial aspect that needs to come first. But we can just proceed with the attack, check. And now at this point, black is in very bad shape here. He comes back to g8, check. That's a mate unless the queen captures, in which case we'll capture here, check, and we've won a queen. At this point, if black comes out into the center, trying to protect the knight, we've already seen what happens there. It's all just the same attack as before. And if black doesn't choose to come out into the center and protect his knight, but he comes over to a dark square, we have a check, which wins the queen. So as you can see, if that black bishop here gets out of the game is pretty much over. Yeah, hopefully this has been of help to you, and you can use it a bit when people use the two knights defense. I know the two knights defense always used to be a pain to me, so hopefully this is a good response for you. All right, take care, YouTubers.